Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Monday, the 3rd of April. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, it's had an attempt to get back up to its monthly pivot already. Just come a little bit short of that, and selling off at the moment. Overall trend certainly to the downside here. If we break that daily 34 moving average, there's little support until we get back down towards the daily 100 maybe. On the bigger time frames here, it's potentially in free fall from that point of view, but just looking at the 4-hourly, well, yeah, support again back into what would be almost the equivalent of the 34 there, that 4-hourly 200. Shorter time frame, and well, we're already into the daily pivot here. We've got the, can't actually see the weekly. Let's just go backward a stage. Oh, the weekly is quite a way back above us, so really maybe if we see any break and bounce of that, or I say bounce, but any break of that monthly pivot, we may be pushing towards that at some point. At the moment, we'll see how we can cope with this daily pivot here. For me to be looking and targeting the weekly pivot, really would need to see a break above this hourly 50, I think. At the moment, it does look very weak. Cable ended up a lot stronger on Friday, pushing up quite well towards the end of the day there. We've got the weekly pivot, the monthly pivot, and most likely the daily pivot below us. There we go. Support may come in the form of the 21 moving averages, but any sort of break of that level could see us heading south towards those targets. Just looking across, sorry, there's a slightly quite there. Okay, the weekly is pretty close to us. The monthly target quite a way below. So, okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen gained some back on Friday, maybe opening the way now for actually perhaps a move back up. We've got the end of the month out the way on the dollar yen, so there is the potential of pushing back towards the monthly pivot sitting above us. We're just bouncing off the weekly pivot here in the short term. There is support in the form of the 4-hourly 50, 34 sitting below if it gets back to that sort of area. But at the moment, it's looking like it, as I say, might continue that what was the beginning of possibly an upward trend here. So I guess if you're targeting the weekly pivot, a break above the daily pivot here, the 34 moving average may just see us open the potential to that monthly pivot. Aussie dollar. Well, the Aussie dollar is continuing southerly direction here, and well, already through the weekly pivot, monthly pivot. It's got little in the way of targets at the moment. Just looking through where we are here. Well, it's already down to its daily S2 as well, so it's just about ticked everything off. Very weak looking currency, maybe selling into retracements may be an opportunity here, but yeah, it's done pretty much everything. Canadian dollar, just before I do that, let's just check the price of oil. Oil's been pushing up and managed to hold up about the $50 barrel for now at least. Canadian dollar, well, a break of these lows from last week, Thursday, Friday lows, may see it roll back towards the daily 50, daily 200, which is above us, but at the moment we've got targets just above us, the weekly pivot, monthly pivot above us. Trend-wise was certainly more to the, sorry, just come back there in the well, it doesn't really show too well on these time frames. It shows clearer on the 60-minute. This sort of what trend there is. I mean, it's been very choppy. trend there was looking certainly to the more likely from the downside, although it's consolidated on Friday a little bit more, and we could see this. To say there's a weekly pivot and monthly pivot above us, and they may be cleared out earlier part of this week. Any sell-off may see us coming down towards Friday's lows and the Thursday's lows. In fact, probably a better target with the S1. So all in all, it's a bit of a mix, a mishmash. The generally a lot of these pairs look weaker, more on the weaker side. As the exception being cables held up pretty well, but it may just sort of give some of that movement back that it's made over the last a good part of last week, 3 days of last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's it was putting higher lows, higher highs in there, just looking a little bit more. Bullish at that point, but we'll just see how it runs this morning. I think break of this current, there's a trend line running across the lows at the moment. If it just see how it reacts. Actually, it's just sitting on it at the moment, but maybe after 8 o'clock, if it breaks down below that, be interesting just to watch how it comes off there. Maybe a small short with an add in below the 60.21s for me. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Oh, sorry, I should say news. And at this point, 9:30 is the real significant news in the UK. We've got the manufacturing PMI, slight shade off last month, as I seem to remember. They started just dropping slightly down on previous. Perhaps we've hit the near-term top for now for those in terms of growth, but any more significant growth there would be probably positive for the pound there. And then we got the ISM manufacturing data for the US at 3 p.m. So that's the main data. Thereafter, there are some speakers. US later in the day, 3:30, 8, and then 8 o'clock. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.